teenagers who asked if I would talk about my experience with drugs. And I have had experience, unfortunately, or fortunately, depending on how you look at it. When I first got of age, I, like a lot of teenagers, would sneak and smoke cigarettes. And I ended up getting addicted to cigarettes, and I smoked for several years. That led to smoking marijuana as well. And I did that for many, many years. In fact, still today, that is one thing that I would partake in. I don't know, it really makes me, it just makes me more philosophical, I think, whenever I do it. And so there's that. Second, when I endured, well, let me back up a little bit. So the only drug I would ever do was marijuana. I would never do anything else. I was that way for years and years and years. But I had a brother who had tried everything. And he would always get me to ask, try to get me, hey, why don't you just try this? I mean, he just in a loving way. It wasn't like he was trying to get me hooked. He just wanted to enjoy them with me. And I just never would. And like mushrooms or LSD or cocaine, he did them, and he encouraged me to do them with him, but I refused. I said no, only natural. I looked at marijuana as just a plant, the same as like tobacco is just a plant. And so, they don't need any chemical synthesis to create them, where like cocaine, you have to synthesize the coca plant to create cocaine. Same with LSD or pharmaceuticals. And so I refused to do them. Mushrooms, I suppose, are natural, but when I was young, they just weren't really around. I mean, I didn't, besides my brother, like maybe offering it to me once or twice, I just always had to work the next day, and I was always afraid of, jeopardizing my job. Anyway, when I went through the horrible breakup that I went through, I just couldn't get over it. I could not shake the sadness, and it just devastated me so much. I mean, I thought after a couple of weeks I might get it over it, but it was weeks and then months, and I just could not shake it. And finally, I called my brother one night, and I said, hey, do you have any cocaine? And I told him I wanted to try it, because truly, like, in my mind, I hurt so bad that I didn't care anymore. I thought maybe I would just get on it and just do it until maybe something happened to me. I mean, I was there. I was at a low point of my life. My heart was just shattered. And so when he came over and I tried it, and I have to tell you that this was probably, I'm guessing I was 29, maybe 28, 29, 30, somewhere in there. And to this day, it's the happiest moment of my life. I've never been happier than when I was on it. Now, here's the catch. I was miserable before I did it. I was the happiest I had ever been when I was on it. But it wears off quickly. So I was on it. I kept doing it. And then later that night, you run out. this is 9 o'clock at night, doing it all night long till 2 o'clock in the morning. At 5 a.m., whatever I felt before we started was 10 times worse. It was so horrible. I couldn't stand it. So you know what I needed? I needed more. And I stayed an addict for probably 3 months. Definitely 2 months. Probably 75, 80 days. And I knew I was going to run out of money soon. And I just said, that's it. I cannot. I decided that I didn't want to throw my life away. I decided that she was not worth dying over. And as much as my heart broke, I think breaking myself in a different way. Like, I think that's what I did. My heart was so broken that then I broke the rest of my body by abusing it. And so fixing the rest of my body actually fixed my heart. And I made it through. I would say it took me a good 60 days to recover completely. But I would say not completely, but to recover a lot, to where I felt like a human again, to where I felt like I didn't need it. And I swore it off. I swore I would never touch it again, and I never did, and I never have. But then I was introduced to a friend of mine that had back surgery, and he had Vicodin. And he said, man, have you ever tried one of these? It's just, and so in my mind, it was just like a pain pill, like a Tylenol. He said, you ought to try one. Well, I tried one, and it was almost like cocaine. It was very similar. And I thought in my mind, well, this is medicine. You know, this is not a drug. This is like legal medicine. No, I'm not legally allowed to have it because I'm not prescribed it, but I didn't look at it as bad. And I did no research whatsoever on them. So I didn't know what could happen as far as addiction, because it's an opiate. And there's so many different forms. So like Oxycontin, Oxycodone, Vicodin. There's generics. Heck, I know all the names of them, but I've put them out of my memory. But at any rate, that's what I started doing, and I got to the point that I could not function without them. And the funny thing is I didn't even really know I was addicted to them. I thought I kept getting sick because I still didn't like correlate like these things are addictive. But like anytime I stopped taking them for like a day, I would get like nose burns. Like I wasn't snorting them, but they would burn my nose. And I don't know, I would get like sores in my nose. It was just the weirdest thing after I went like a day or two without taking them. And then I would always get like sick, like feverish. And then like I would search for more pills and take them, and then it would just magically go away. What I didn't realize is I was dope sick. I was starting to get sick from withdrawals. And it was shortly after that that I actually learned about them, that they're highly addictive, and that it's like heroin. And it happened to me before I really realized it. And I thought, I can't believe I'm going through this again, where like I didn't do it on purpose. Like I just did it as kind of like a fun thing, kind of like drinking. And I'm telling you that it was way worse overcoming that than it was cocaine. So I tried to stop, but like the sickness is so bad, like coming off of cocaine and detoxing from that is like more mental sickness. It's not really physical sickness. It's fighting your mind. Your mind wants it, and you're feeling so miserable. You just have like a deep depression. Where with pain pills, it's just, I wanted to die, truly. So, ironically, in the midst of all of that, I won this trip from Toyota for a sales contest, and it was to a place called Paradise Island in the Bahamas. And I told myself that, okay, I will limp this problem along until I go on that trip, and I'm going to detox on that trip, because I knew, like, if I could go a straight week, I thought I could see light at the end of the tunnel. So that's what I did. I took my last pain pill when I hopped on that plane, and when I got off, I had none. And of course, I'm in a strange land. I could probably, but I didn't walk up to somebody and say, hey, can you get me drugs? So I was functioning like when I first got there, and slowly, like the next day, I knew what was coming. So I just shut my door and curled up in a ball, and I stayed there for the rest of the time. Now I could see the ocean from my room. I was in paradise, truly Paradise Island. It was beautiful, but I was the most miserable I've ever been in my life. As far as physical, it was the sickest I'd ever been in my life, and it was brutal. But the day my return flight was, I woke up that morning and I actually felt human again. I felt like I was going to make it. Like the 2 days prior, I wondered in my mind if I was going to die. I thought I could. Like, I knew I could dehydrate because I was getting rid of liquids so much. So all I did was drink water. I probably lost 10 pounds, and I've never been a big guy. I probably looked like a, crackhead. But that's what I did. I got off them, and since then, I've never taken another one. I won't even take a Tylenol if I have a headache. I mean, I swore off medicine. I swore off everything. Everything that isn't natural, and I just wish I would have stayed that way, because though I have the experiences and I know what it is, I don't know. I just think it's affected me. I think that it has done damage, because like my happiness level, the dopamine, knowing that again, that's the happiest I've ever been. I mean, I love my dogs. I'm a happy person, but like knowing where I've been happiness-wise, and I know what's possible. There's something that does something to me, knowing that just like I try to find a way to access that level of happiness without the drug. I haven't been able to replicate it. To any of you that are enduring that, I would just encourage you. You know what needs to be done. You know you cannot continue down this road. You know you have to stop. And whether you do it now, or next week, or next month, or next year, you are going to have to endure the detox. There's no way around it. It has to be done. So, why not do it now? The sooner you do it, the better off you'll be. And I just say plan your life around it. Plan it out. Here's when I'm going to do it. I didn't need a detox center. I didn't need to go to a rehab place. If you have enough discipline and willpower, you can do it on your own. Now, I know there's some health risks depending on how long you've been on it, or like some of that stuff like fentanyl or stuff. It can be so bad that you really just you might need medical attention to do it. You might need medical intervention to detox. So I'm not giving medical advice, but I am telling you that if it's just that, like the things that I've endured, it's possible. Do it. And if with it. It's much better to just deal with it just like me. The only reason I tried cocaine with my brother was because I was trying to break free from the pain of my heartache instead of just growing as a man and overcoming it naturally. I got weak and I fell prey to the temptation. So I'm encouraging you just to not do it. Same with alcohol. Like, luckily for me, alcohol was never a big problem because you're so out of control, and like the price to pay, like I hated the way it made me feel the next day. Like right now, like I'll have 1 or 2 glasses of wine at most, and I get a little buzz if I do 2 glasses of wine, but I chug water afterwards so I don't dehydrate, and I never get a hangover from it. I never feel anything the next day. But if I had 3 or more glasses, I would feel it. And so I've learned that about myself of where my cutoff is. But I believe alcohol is poison. That's why it intoxifies us, because it is an intoxicant. It is a poison. You just have to be really careful with it, even though it's legal. I just think you're way better off with other things than you are with alcohol, because it too can devastate, and it is also very addictive. So I'm just blessed that I never really got hooked on that, because I know that's a horrible detox as well. And that's a horrible addiction to break, and it's so easily and readily accessible that it's on every street corner, in every convenience store, in every grocery store, every liquor store. You can get it everywhere, where illegal drugs are harder to come by and much more expensive. And so, anyway, I hope that helps. And yeah, I just feel for anybody going through it, and I plead with you to just find a way to stop, because I know that there's no future in it, and the longer you wait to stop, the more years you're going to throw away, and your life will be on hold. There's no way to advance your life on that stuff. I mean, you don't need any more examples than what the world already has. History has given us plenty of examples of what it leads to. Even the richest of people can't handle it. So, that's that. Which, wow, that took a lot longer than I thought. Maybe I'll save the other topic for another video. The other topic is about something I learned about recently. It's called the region beta paradox, and this is a really interesting. I'm just going to tell you what it is, and I'll save it for the next video. Region beta paradox states that if you have to go a mile or less, you have to walk. But if you have to go over a mile, you have to drive. So the theory is that some things, even though it's worse, like if something's farther away, you could actually get there quicker than if it was closer, because you have to walk if it's a mile or less. And I'll let you kind of dwell on that, but I'll get into it in greater detail in the next video. But I really appreciate you watching this. I hope this helps the person that asked for my help, and I wish you all the best.